So my name is Megan Shanahan. I am an academic program manager in the Office of Undergraduate Research. I coordinate some of our programs. And so I am here to tell you a little bit more about undergraduate research here at the U. I have a very exciting PowerPoint presentation, which I will share with you. That will kind of walk you through like what is undergraduate research, why might you want to get involved, how do you get involved, and then also how we as an office can support you in your pursuit of research. So let me go ahead and share that. Oops. Yes. Okay, here we go. So the Office of Undergraduate Research supports students in their pursuit of research on campus. We don't like control the specific research you're doing. That's negotiated between you and the faculty member that you're working with. But we're here to help you in every step of the way. So if you have questions, please, get in touch with us. We have advisors on our staff. So we have Sandra, who is our full-time advisor. She's really great. She's like really optimistic. She's great to talk to if you have questions, like at any point in the process. If you're like, I want to do research, I'm not really sure what I want to do, she can talk to you about that. If you have a specific idea in mind, maybe you're trying to look for someone to work with, she can talk to you about that. So really, at any point, please feel free to make an appointment with one of our advisors. We can talk to you more about your ideas or how to get started. Another important thing about our office is that we have money that we want to give to students who are doing their research. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of our programs, but another thing to remember about our office is that we have funding that we want to give to you. And these are some of the programs that we have. So Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, I'll tell you more about that, but that's our signature program. That's where we pay students to do research with a faculty member. We have small grants and travel grants that are available to you as well. We have an education series, which are professional development events. There's also a scholar designation that you can get that goes in your transcript. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as well. And then lastly, we have a full-time summer research program. So if you're looking for like a more intensive research experience, that might be an option for you as well. So why might you want to do undergraduate research? Our students participate in research for a variety of reasons. One of the number one benefits that they tend to report to us is that they really like being able to learn by doing. So they get an opportunity to connect those classroom experiences or the classroom learning that they're doing, the things that they're learning in the classroom and connecting it to a real world experience. They also, a lot of our students are already doing research. So depending on what your major is, some of the majors require some type of research experience or like maybe a capstone project at the end. Sometimes you have to do a thesis, something like that. So you might already be engaged in some type of research for your degree requirements. It also gives you an opportunity to work closely with a faculty mentor. So this can be really helpful. It can be useful to get to know your faculty for a variety of reasons. I mean, just, for classroom support in general, but then also like if you get to know them and work closely with them through research, then maybe, depending on what you're hoping to do post-graduation, if you're thinking about going to grad school or professional school, they might be able to write a strong letter of recommendation for you, which can be really helpful. Or if you're hoping to go into industry after, get a job, then they might be able to serve as like a reference for you as well. Or if you just have questions in general, like you want to know more about your discipline, or maybe you're not sure what you want to do after graduation, faculty can be a really great resource. Maybe you are considering grad school, but you don't know what types of things to look for. They can be helpful in that realm as well. It can also help prepare you for graduate programs in your career. So if you are hoping to go to grad school, you'll have to do research as part of that program. So doing undergraduate research can help prepare you by giving you that experience. For some programs, it's a requirement to have some type of research experience as part of the application process. Also, maybe you're thinking that, you want to pursue some type of research-based career, then that would also give you the experience you need to be prepared for that. It can also help make your resume stand out. So it can give you some types of experiences that you can list that not a lot of other people have, or not a lot of other applicants for the same position will have. You know, sometimes you can apply for jobs that have hundreds, if not thousands of other candidates. And so it's just another item that you can add to your resume that can help you stand out as well. So we do welcome research in all disciplines. I think that when students hear the word research, they think like you're in a lab, you have a white coat on, you have your beakers, you have your safety goggles, things like that. Yes, we do have a lot of research that looks like that happens on our campus, but not all research by any means. So the Office of Undergraduate Research supports research that happens in all disciplines, all majors across campus. So don't think like, oh, well, I'm in our major, so I can't do research. Yes, you can. We use the term research broadly, and you can apply that to whatever it looks like in your department. So it might look more like creative activity, like some of these examples here. We have students who might choreograph some dance performances as part of their creative activity, which is research in their discipline. We have other students who might create photo exhibits or maybe art piece exhibits, and that is all part of research as well. Like I said, we do have a lot of research that happens in a lab. Our campus is kind of STEM focused, or STEM forward is what the term that I've heard that I think is appropriate. So we do, of course, have a lot of research that happens in a lab as well, but just don't think that that's the only place it can happen. Then we also have students who do research in the field. Some of this, I guess I should say, looks a little bit different right now, just because not everyone can be on campus all the time like we used to be able to be, but a lot of research is happening virtually right now. So don't feel discouraged, like, well, the research I want to do takes place in the lab. We can't be in the lab right now, so I can't do any research. A lot of faculty have found ways to modify the research experience so that students can still participate in it virtually. So it might look a little bit different if you get involved right now versus, a year from now or 2 years from now, but that doesn't mean that you're not still getting a meaningful research experience as well. So the first step to getting involved in research on campus is to find a faculty mentor. So the faculty on your campus, in addition to teaching, also have to do research as part of their jobs. So they're doing research in all areas on campus. So you want to work with a faculty member because they're the people who have the expertise in this area, who can guide you through that research process, give you the training that you need, the advice that you need, and that mentorship piece. So in order to find a faculty mentor, you can look in a few different ways. You can talk to other student researchers. So if you have a friend who's involved in research, you can ask them how they found the person they're working with, or maybe, getting to know some of the people in your classes. Maybe some of them, you hear them talking about research and how they got involved. You can just talk to your professors and your advisors. Sometimes your department chairs can be helpful. Normally I would tell students to go to their faculty's office hours, but since we're mostly not on campus, that can be a little bit more challenging. But if they have virtual office hours, I recommend you getting in touch with them that way. And then also talking to your advisors. So if you're interested, I guess I should say this also, you don't have to do research that happens in your major area. A lot of our students do research that's in their major area, but it's not a requirement. So I'm assuming that if you choose a major, it's because you're interested in it. So you might want to learn more about it, learn about the research process in that way. So that's why a lot of our students do research in their major areas, but we have a lot of students who do research in other areas as well. But if you are thinking about doing research in your major area, you could talk to your major advisor and see if they have any suggestions for you. Sometimes they hear from faculty who are looking for students to work with, or they might hear from some of their other students, some of the other students that they advise, who they're working with, and if they like who they're working with. You can also explore different department websites. So most, if not all, of the department websites has some type of faculty directory, and they usually talk a little bit more about their research. You can kind of get an idea of who's doing what on campus, who is doing research that you might be interested in, and then you can reach out to them. You can also make an advising appointment. So like I mentioned, we have advisors in our office. we can walk you through our undergraduate research opportunities database. So unfortunately, there isn't one place you can go to see all of the research that's happening and available to students on campus. You have to kind of find it by, talking to people. But we have tried to remedy this by creating our own database, but it's not an exhaustive list by any means. So if you go to our database, I think there are over 100 opportunities in there right now. But if you go there and you type in keywords of things that you're interested in, nothing comes up, don't feel discouraged. It just means that the faculty who are doing research in that area haven't chosen to send us an opportunity to post in there. So that research is more than likely still happening in that area, just might not be in that database. But the database can be a good place to start, kind of give you an idea of some of the things that are available to you. We can also give you suggestions for emails that you can write to faculty. So it can be kind of intimidating to send an email to a faculty member you have never met before, never interacted with, and tell them that you want to work on their research. So we can kind of walk you through that, provide some suggestions. Even if you have a draft email and you're like, hey, I just want someone to look it over, we're more than happy to look it over and provide you feedback on that as well. And then we can also work with you to find your research interests and potential mentors. So again, kind of like I mentioned at the beginning, if you have an idea, you're like, I want to do research in this area, we can show you different places to look, kind of walk you through that process to see what it's like to identify someone, maybe actually help you make a list of people that you could get in touch with and then work through that. So the second step is to learn the research. So, you spent time finding faculty that you would be interested in working with, you emailed them, hopefully you heard back from them, you might set up a meeting, you might just keep talking through email, but eventually you'll find someone that the two of you agree that you would like to work together and pursue this research. So the next step is to learn the research, get to know your research mentor, learn about their research, and then you develop a project with them. A lot of our students will work on a part of their mentor's ongoing research. Some students come up with an idea on their own and find someone to mentor them through that process. It's not always, but sometimes it's kind of more discipline-based, like which method is more popular. But don't be afraid that you don't have a unique research idea or question, that just because you don't have that already figured out that you can't do research. A lot of our students are working on ongoing research that's already happening. So don't feel like you have to come up with an idea all on your own. We also don't feel like you have to have a lot of research experience in order to start working in research on campus. Most of our students don't have any type of research experience at all when they start out, and faculty should largely be expecting that. Everyone has to start somewhere, and that's kind of the point of undergraduate research, is to get you started in that area. So, don't let that worry you at all either. Yeah. So once you get started on your research with your faculty mentor, you might want to consider applying to UROP. So UROP is the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. We pay students a $1,200 stipend while working collaboratively with a faculty mentor over the course of the semester. These degree-seeking undergraduate students who are enrolled at least part-time are eligible. So even if you're not a full-time student, you're still eligible to apply for UROP. This is a semester-long program. You do not have to go through this program in order to do research on campus. This is here for you in case you need it. So if you find a faculty member that you're going to work with and they're able to pay you, that's great. That's awesome. Go for it. If you find someone and maybe you're like, oh, I just want to volunteer, I just want to get a couple of hours a week, you don't need to be paid, that's fine as well. You're more than welcome to volunteer. But if you are in a position in which you need to earn a little bit of money while you're doing this, but your faculty mentor doesn't have funding to be able to pay you themselves, this is where UROP might step in for you. So students are eligible for 2 semesters of UROP funding. They can be consecutive semesters. They don't have to be. They can be on the same project. They don't have to be. They can be with the same faculty mentor. They don't have to be. So if you're kind of seeing a theme here, we've tried to make the program flexible so that you can explore your academic interests in whatever that looks like for you. So again, you don't have to go through UROP in order to do research on campus, but it is available to you should you need it. And if you have any questions about the application process, We have a lot of information on our website, but you can also make an appointment with an advisor and we can kind of go over that as well. In order to apply to UROP, you prepare a research proposal, which is usually 4 to 6 pages. We have specific sections that we ask that you talk about in your proposal. So it's not like just write 4 to 6 random pages on this topic. There are actually specific things that we want to know that kind of help guide you. It should be a collaborative effort between you and your faculty mentor. Sometimes they might say, just go ahead and start writing and then show me a draft, and then they work with you that way. Sometimes they might have a little bit more guidance for you at the beginning, but it's, again, there are specific topics that we want you to cover in the proposal, and then you will also be working with your mentor on this. So it's not just like, like I said, write 4 to 6 pages of something random. You submit it online, you get a reference from your faculty mentor. We have a lot of information on our website. One important thing to know about UROP is that the deadlines are a few months before the semester in which you'll actually be doing the research. So for example, you can see here that for the summer semester, those proposals are due in March. If you're interested in doing UROP in the fall, those proposals are usually due at the beginning of July. And then if you're interested in doing UROP in the spring semester, those proposals are usually due the end of October. So it's just something to make sure that you are planning ahead for, thinking ahead. Since it is a semester-long program, we want to give you the award notification before the semester actually begins, so you can hit the ground running and working on your project. And then it just takes some time to go through the review process. So then the next step is hopefully you're awarded UROP funding, even if not, but that you do your research. So you work collaboratively with your faculty mentor to conduct your research. And then, like I said, students are eligible for up to 2 semesters of UROP funding. So hopefully you can get a renewal semester. We also offer research grants. These are available to all students as well. So you don't have to be in UROP or any of our other funding programs in order to be eligible for these. You just need to be working with a University of Utah faculty mentor on your research in order to be eligible for these. We have small grants, which are up to $200 and can be on things like research supplies, and then travel grants, which are up to $500. And one day we'll be able to travel again. And when we are, you might want to remember this. Travel grants can be on things like if you need to travel to collect data, or maybe you need to travel to, like maybe you're doing archival research, you need to travel to a different area to access specific documents, things like that. Or if you're accepted to present at a conference and need help with some of the costs associated with the travel to that conference. All the applications are considered monthly, so we always encourage students to apply early and often. So if you apply for a travel grant in 1 month and it happens to be declined, then we would welcome another application from you the next monthly cycle, so that hopefully you'll eventually get awarded. We do have to award the funds before you actually do the travel or buy the supplies. Unfortunately, it can't be awarded retroactively. We also have an undergraduate research education series, which is a series of professional development events designed to complement the research experience. So you're not learning like how to do the specific research, but learning things that would be helpful to you as a researcher, like doing literature reviews, writing abstracts, doing research remotely. The chemistry and everyday life one was really interesting. Normally these presentations are in person, but right now they are a combination of live Zoom events and previously recorded sessions. So these that are listed here were the live ones, but we have a lot of other ones that have been recorded in the past. You can visit our website for dates and times, and then also to register. Registration is just so that we can send you the Zoom link and password so that you can access the event. And those are available to any student. So even if you're not doing research right now, or even if you've never been doing research, if you find one of these that sounds interesting to you, you're more than welcome to attend. Right now, you're more than welcome to access any of these on our website. And then the next step in the research process is actually disseminating your research. So telling people about the research that you did. There are a few opportunities on campus for you to be able to do this. If you're interested in publishing your work, we have our online undergraduate research journal, which is published once a year every summer. That's actually another good place to go. So if you're interested in research, not really sure where to start, not sure who you're interested in working with, you can look at some of our past issues and see things that previous undergraduates have worked on. and who they've been working with. Maybe consider contacting those faculty. That could also be a good place to look. And then, of course, we always encourage you to look at other undergraduate or professional research journals that you could consider publishing in, and that'd be something that you'd work with your faculty mentor on. And then you can also present your work. So we offer the Undergraduate Research Symposium every spring, where students give posters, talks, performances. We have some art installations. It happens every April. This year it'll be on April 6th. Again, it will be held virtually due to the pandemic. One thing that's nice about that, though, is that we have like an archive of all of the presentations. So our symposium that happened this April in 2020 was also held virtually. That's another good place to go to look if you're wanting to get involved in research but not really sure where to get started. You can go look at some of those presentations and see things that students were recently actively working on, what they were doing, who they were working with. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going on campus. So that's another good place to go. But then again, this spring, you're more than welcome to attend, I guess, our virtual event. All the posters and, well, all of the presentations will be available on our website. You can click on them. There are little sound files that you can hear the students present a little bit about their work. You can also contact the students directly. Their email addresses are on there. So again, this is a really good place to go if you're interested in getting involved and just aren't sure where to start. We also have an undergraduate research scholar designation, this is a designator that goes on your transcript in the honors and awards section. So this is kind of cool because it means that the undergraduate research experience that you have as a student becomes part of your permanent academic record. So anytime you pull transcripts for like grad school applications or for job applications, things like that, it'll actually say that you are an undergraduate researcher on your transcript. So in order to get the URSD, you need to do 2 semesters of research with a faculty mentor. If it's through UROP or anything through our office, that's great because we keep record of it. If it's not through our programs, that's fine too. Your faculty mentor will just have to fill out a little form saying that you worked with them. And then you need to present at the Undergraduate Research Symposium, which is that on-campus one I just talked about, and then publish in the Undergraduate Research Journal, which is that on-campus opportunity that I mentioned. And then you apply the semester that you are going to be graduating. And a huge selling point for this is that we give you cords to wear at graduation. And unlike other programs which only give you 1 cord, we actually give you 2 cords. And if you don't know, graduation is really just a competition for everyone to see how involved everyone else was. So you can see with the cords, that was a joke. I hope you got it. But anyway, we do offer the cords as well. And even we're still giving cords even though we're not like physically having a graduation ceremony, so that you can still like wear them when you take your pictures and stuff, which is kind of cool. Lastly, our summer program for undergraduate research that I mentioned is that intensive full-time research experience under the direction of a University of Utah faculty member. It is a 10-week program. You spend between 35 and 40 hours a week on research and program-related activities. Students earn a $5,000 stipend. And then this one is a little bit different than UROP. You're actually applying to a specific project. So instead of, like with UROP, you find a faculty member, the 2 of you collaborate on a proposal, you submit that to our office for consideration for funding. With SPUR, faculty actually submit project applications to us. We select which projects we'd like to offer to students, and then when you apply to the program, you're applying to a predetermined research experience. So this is also a great way to get some type of research experience if you're not quite sure where you want to get involved. You're actually applying to a specific predetermined project. The application deadline for this program is January 31st, which might seem early for a summer program. That's actually quite common. These types of programs happen at institutions across the country, and the deadlines are usually in January or February. So that's another good point, that if you are, well, again, once we're able to travel, if you are in a position in which you don't have to stay in Salt Lake for the summer, if you're able to travel for the summer and you want this type of experience, I would recommend that you look at these types of programs at other institutions as well. So you can get an experience at a new place. They'll often pay you to travel there. So they will like pay for your flight out there and then pay for your housing or something like that. So you can have just a cool experience elsewhere. But yeah, so there's no research experience required in order to apply for SPUR. It's open to all majors. We have a lot of different projects on there, so I would recommend you look into this as well. Lastly, here's our contact information. Our general office email is just OUR for Office of Undergraduate Research, our website, and our phone number. Even though we are all remote right now, we're not physically in the office, we're still answering our office phones, checking our email, things like that. So if you ever have any questions at all, please get in touch with us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about this. Like I said, we have advisors in the office. You can make an appointment with them. We also have undergraduate research leaders who are current students who are currently involved in research. So if maybe you want to get a student's perspective, talk to an actual student who's doing actual undergraduate research. Their information is available on our website as well. They do peer advising, so you could get in touch with them too. So that is my very fast talking presentation about undergraduate research. Do any of you have any questions that you'd like to ask to the group? Oh, yes, so this is for all majors.